Hello, and thank you for joining. As we get into the pool, let's go ahead and start warming up with some walking. We're gonna do some forward walks across the pool. After we do this a few times, go ahead and add some arm motions. You go ahead and walk forward. I'm just gonna show you and walk back. All right, now that we got our arms and legs moving, we're gonna go ahead and change it up to some side steps. But with our steps, as you go to the right, we are going to go ahead and head tilt and up, neck tilt and up. And as we go to the left, we're going to do shoulder shrugs. Up and down, up and down. To the right, neck bend, together, bend, together. After we do those for a few more times, we're going to go ahead and start walking in place. And as we walk, we're gonna go ahead and add those shoulder rolls backwards. Remember, you can go at your own pace. It's up to you. Don't try to keep up with me, anyone around you. After we do this, warm up those shoulders, we're gonna go ahead and add a little higher knees, bring it to a march, and we're gonna go ahead and bring out those cat claws so we can stretch out our fingers. Open and bend, open and bend. Hopefully we're feeling warmed up, getting ready. We're gonna go ahead and move into our range of motion exercises. We're gonna go ahead and start with some shin tucks. Forward, and down. After these, we're gonna go into wrist rotations for about 15 seconds to each wrist. Get those going. After our rotations, we'll go ahead and add some wrist bends. Up, and down. After we got our wrist all warmed up, we'll go ahead and do some arm raises. Just right out to the side, out and down. You can stand wide if you want to. Then we're gonna go ahead and stretch them a little more. Bring it to the hug and out. If you want, you can switch your arms, which one's top, which one's bottom. After we do this for a while, we are going to do some shoulder circles, starting with our hands on our shoulders, and circle backwards for about 15 seconds. And after 15 seconds, if you're comfortable enough, go ahead and open those arms up and continue those arm circles. You can also go forward if you want to. And then we're gonna go ahead and move into some trunk rotations, hands on hips. Whichever side is comfortable first for you. Make sure you alternate sides. All right, after we do that for a minute, we're gonna go ahead and go into some knee bends. About 15 seconds on each leg, or if you wanna count about 10 times on each leg, then you switch. Now your knees are all stretched, we're gonna go ahead and do some calf raises. On toes, down, toes, down. If this is too hard for you, you can switch and put weight to the heel, toe, shift heel, toe. All right, and then we're gonna do our last one. I don't know if you can see my toes. We're gonna do some toe curls to stretch those. We gotta get everywhere. All right, now that we've all stretched out and got our range of motion, we're gonna go ahead and start in our first interval, which is gonna be about 1 minute of cardio and about 2 minutes of balance and coordination. So we're gonna go ahead and start with a side step, trunk bend. But you step together on the bend, sorry. So step, bend, step, my bad. Okay, so when you step to the right, trunk bend. But when you go to the left, I'm so sorry. You're either way. So you're doing it both ways. Right, together, bend, up, left, together, bend, up. But we're gonna do that right, and then we're gonna go left, and then we'll finish out this interval with jumping jacks, but modify them to your arms do not go out of the water. About to a half raise. I'm only doing one leg because I'm not in the water. Finishing that first interval, we're gonna move into our balance progression. So first we're gonna start with a wide stance and have those arms open and swing back, forth, back, forth. This will help stabilize your core. After we do this for a little while, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna stay in tandem stance, whichever leg forward. I'm putting my right forward, about a foot apart, 12 inches. And we're gonna stand and just make some movement. Remember to keep your head up, posture straight, think about your shoulder blades touching. And after we do that for about 20 seconds, we're gonna switch to my left leg forward. Again, 12 inches apart, and keep on going. Remember, think of your posture, someone's pulling you up, nice and straight. And after we do this, we're gonna try and bring our tandem stance together and put your heel to your other toe. Mine again is my right foot forward. Oh my, I'm struggling with this one. And we're gonna again add some movement around us to help challenge us for stabilize. All right, and then we will switch again. Almost done with this one. All right, moving on to our second interval. We're gonna do a side step arm raises, but watch out, because as we side step down, and on your other one, it's forward, down, together, forward, together, side, together, forward, together, side, together, forward, together. I've been showing you back and forth because I don't fit, but you will be doing this right first, going about 8 times, and then to the left 8 times. And then we will finish the interval with some rocking horse, which is your step back, forward, and just hopping, just like you imagine. Moving on to our second balance progression, we're going to go ahead and walk and crawl stroke. Really dig through that water, add some, you got it. And doing the same thing, we're gonna walk backwards with our arms swinging. Not the same thing then. Arms, fingers wide apart, add some resistance. You're gonna backwards walk while you're swaying. Try to give you a little resistance while you're doing it. Again, that would be backwards walking, and forward would be the crawl. And then we're gonna finish out with those crawls. All right, on to our third interval. Sorry, this is awful. Okay, we're gonna go step forward, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna punch straight forward 2 times on each arm, but 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna go back, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then again punch forward, 2, 3, 4. Now we're gonna go to the side, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're gonna cross our body in 1, 2, 3, 4. To the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna go ahead. Oh, I'm so sorry. And we're gonna slide. No, we're not. Then we're going into our next balance. I'm really bad at this flowing stuff. So we're gonna go back into our first balance, where we start with our standing wide apart and have your fingers and sway. 2, 3, 4. Remember, you're trying to add that movement, try to keep your core stabilized, more movement around you, work on that strength. After you get that down, we're gonna go ahead and go back into that 12 inches apart tandem stance, and we're gonna add those arm movements again. Remember, keep your body up. Think about your posture. Remember, you do not have to keep up with anyone around you. And then go ahead and switch to the other leg, 12 inches apart. And so. And then we're gonna go ahead and put our toes to heel to toe again and do those movements. And then we go ahead and switch again. All right, moving on to our fourth interval. We're gonna do rocking horse again, but speed it up if you can. If not, whatever pace you want. Go ahead and do that for about 8 counts. After that 8 count, you're gonna cross country ski 1, 2, another 8 time. Again, at your own speed, slow, fast. And then back to rocking horse with your opposite leg in the front. And end this interval one more time with those cross country skis. 3. If you want, fingers can be together or apart. Add that extra resistance. Moving on to our balance progression one more time. We're gonna go ahead and start with our walking and crawl stroke. Remember, forward, you crawl, backwards, wide fingers. This would be slower, actually, sorry. Slower, thinking about like across the pool. Ending it with that walk and crawl. Going on to our 5th and final interval. We are gonna start feet together, squat, apart, squat. Together, squat, apart, squat. This is going to the right. And then again to the left. Nope, just kidding. After we go to the right, we're gonna do some rows. 1, 2, 3. Do this for about 8 times. And then we're gonna go to the left. Again, together, squat, apart, down. Together, squat, apart, down for about 8 steps. And then go back again to about those 4 rows for another 8 times. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, moving on to our last balance thing. We are going to change it up a little this time. We're gonna start with our tandem apart, about 12 inches apart, and have that movement. Really if you want, you can speed it up, wider, narrow, however you feel, and then go ahead and switch legs for 20 seconds. Again, at your own pace, however you wish. And then we're gonna bring our toes and heels together. And again, do our hand movements as you wish. And switch. And then this is where we change it up a little bit. We're gonna keep our heel to toe stance. And instead of movement, try to hold your hands on your hips. If you really wanna challenge yourself, you can close your eyes, but I am not going to, considering I'm obviously not doing well. All right, after we finish that last balance progression, we're gonna go ahead and cool down a little bit. So if you don't already have a noodle, please go ahead and grab one so we can go into some stretching. We're gonna start with our hip stretch. Have your noodle out to the side, feet apart. You're gonna go ahead and lean into it and really stretch that hip. You keep your feet flat on the ground, letting your hips stretch, holding onto your noodle for support and pull. And we're gonna go ahead and do that. Switch the noodle into the other side. All right, good job. Now we're gonna do some calf stretches. So hold the noodle out front and really lean into it, keeping that back foot flat on the ground. I could probably do that to show you. And again, to the other side, foot flat, and really lean into it until you feel it. Don't overdo it, go to your comfort. All right, now holding that noodle forward, we're gonna slowly bring it. I'm going to the right first, you can go wherever, go until you feel it pull, or until you can no longer. We're gonna hold that for 15 seconds. Slowly bring it back to the front. Breathe. And to the left. Hold for another 15 seconds and back forward. Now we're really gonna focus on our breathing, but as we're doing so to stay warm, we're gonna start with our arms cross. Inhale as you cross, exhale as you go apart. But this time, instead of going forward again, when you inhale, go ahead and bring them to the back and cross. And then exhale as you open. And then again, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry I was so stuttery and jumpy, but I hope you enjoyed it and had a good time. I'll see you next time.